Is it okay to go now? Okay, wonderful. So good to have you here in the room, everyone watching the stream. Hello, I'm Kirsten with TalentLayer. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to put together a demo. So this is something very important for pretty much every hackathon you're going to go to, but particularly important for this hackathon, which is a no slides hackathon. So it's all based on the demo that you show of your product for the judging, etc. So I'm going to cover sort of how I usually create demos. I'm going to talk a bit about how to do a desktop demo, also how to do mobile demos, because I think if you have mobile apps, you need to do some things a little differently for a demo. And then finally, I'll talk a little bit about demo versus in-person pitching. So we, of course, need a demo video. That's part of your submission. But also, a lot of the same stuff will apply to when you're sharing your product with people, like the sponsors, after the fact. So for this talk, I'm going to be going over a demonstration with a product that my team and I built at ETH Prague called Be Together. So this was a mobile-first marketplace application for basically building freelance collectives. So imagine you and your friends want to come together to work on some contract gigs together. You could manage your treasury, split payments that are coming in as invoices, and then you send it out to your team members, stuff like that. That doesn't matter too much, though. So first things first, this is basically an example of a submission page. I mean, DevFolio. We're using Taikai here, so it's pretty much the same setup. So let me show you the actual application itself, desktop version. So my team usually likes doing landing pages. Highly recommend that you do some sort of landing to actually show what the product does conceptually. But what really matters is showing what the product does. So when I start recording demos, you usually want to start with the first action that your user takes. Usually with Web3 products, this is connecting a wallet. So I can show you what we did as the recording for Be Together.
First, I'll fill out my name here. This will be my handle.
So basically, we start with the first step, which is filling out your name. I'll go into how I made this in a moment. You basically walk through every important aspect of the user journey. Usually what I do while I'm walking through is whenever I come up with a particular sponsor integration that I did, I'll talk a little bit about it. So, for example, there's a part where I send a payment. So basically, if you're doing mobile, any sort of interactions between two applications can be cool. Basically, how you do that is you just screen record on one phone, screen record on the other phone, or you could take a video of your phone. So that's pretty much that. So to reiterate, you basically just want to show all the major functionality for your application. Verbally, you want to explain what it's doing, and when it makes sense, explain what's happening on the back end. So for example, if you're doing some sort of escrow transaction and you're using Railgun, just talk a little bit about how you use Railgun. Nothing super in-depth for the overall presentation, because this needs to be relatively short in the video. When you're talking to individual sponsors, you can go a little bit more in-depth. For desktop applications, same deal, just record the product doing what it does. So one common thing that comes up for a lot of teams is you are building something and it's the final countdown and you don't finish the whole thing. You feel like, I don't actually have something that I can demo as a full working product. It's okay, that doesn't really matter a whole lot. Demo what you can. For the stuff that is not 100% complete, you can just pause, because you're editing this after the fact in a video editor. I use iMovie. You just pause, cut a little bit out. You don't have to mention it. The teams will look at the actual application and see what's missing. It's okay. Do your best. Show as much as you can. So this is generally how we prepared the video side of the application. By the way, if you need any help with actually stitching together the video, overlaying stuff like I did here, happy to help. Come to the TalentLayer table. I just had a lot of trial and error to get these to look good. So happy to share experience there. So, like I said, this is for putting together the video. What about actually pitching, though? So with pitches, I think it's also super important to know who you're pitching to, right? So if you are one of the finalists and you go up on stage, you want to pitch to a very general audience. So that means don't focus on the overall product a bit more, maybe not as in-depth with the specific sponsor integrations. And in contrast, if you go and talk to, say, Wahoo or a specific sponsor, really focus on that sponsor integration. Of course, still focus on the overall product, explain what it does, how it works, but the sponsors really care about how you use their tech and how you, sort of were unique with that implementation. So this is the introduction that I had to how to prepare a video. Now what I would like to do is just sort of open up the floor. This is not necessarily a Q&A, just like open conversation. I know this is a lot of our first times here. My first demo was shit, so like don't worry about whether yours is gonna be perfect or not. We're all just trying our best here. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, comments, or even like if you've been to a lot of hackathons and have other tips that you feel like I didn't mention, we'd love to hear. No questions, no other tips? About Loom, yeah. So you see, when I was basically when I was talking about this guy over here, so not mobile demo, but rather desktop demo, you need to have some sort of good screen recording software. What most people use is Loom. So this is just a browser extension that you can install on Chrome or most browsers. So we can actually take a look at Loom here. So I have so many browsers. Oh, different one. So basically what Loom does is it pulls up a little video guy and it'll just record whatever you're presenting. What happens afterwards, so let's just, pretend to do a quick 5-second recording. Hello, this is my presentation. Please vote for me. I deserve bounties. End. So we want to stop that. What'll happen is it'll open up a new tab, and then your video will be here. What I usually do is I actually download the Loom video. So you can do that by going to your library and then just clicking download. It usually takes a few minutes. Oh man, they made it so you can't download. That sucks. Well, if you can't download, luckily you could also edit in Loom, which is a little bit more annoying, but is also possible. So basically, quickest way to edit videos in Loom is just using the trim feature. So you could cut them here. If you'd said too many ums in this section, you could split it, chop it out, delete that guy. And then just sort of mesh things together like that. So in the end, it's relatively straightforward. The final thing, you just, if you don't download it, you just have the Loom link. You submit that along with your project in Taikai. So that's that. Anything else you feel like I missed, Limona? Cool. Well, good luck to everyone. If you need help with anything, just come and say hello. Would be happy to help. And good luck. See ya.